Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Good afternoon. What you are about to hear is a recounting of the. I don't have time. I don't have time for this. He doesn't have time for this. I do have time. I just don't have it. I was gonna do a thing because Freddy right now is sitting with the family from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's joining us.
Yeah.
From Texas,
having some really good chili here.
Amy is here with us, not sitting with those people.
Nope.
And Andy is also just sitting on his own.
6 feet away.
Just on my own, so sad.
But I'm here.
Yeah.
Not surrounded by horror movie icons. So just Freddy.
Just Freddy.
He's
special.
I'm the icon.
Welcome to feedback, debris, just random shit that we do at the end, so we can cover the stuff that doesn't fall into an easily classifiable category.
We got skits.
We have skits, songs.
Yeah, musical. It's like a variety show.
It is. It's the Sonny and Cher variety hour, but done by us. And
I've always
Sonny
wanted to see
Cher.
Kiss live.
And so we're here, and it's Sunday, the 25th.
Yes, of October.
In the year 2020 of our Lord.
This is the year of our devil.
We just posted episode 116 from way back. In the last 3 elections ago, sorry. Right? 3 elections ago.
3 presidential elections ago.
Wow. We were Erica reviewed The Boston Strangler, The Untold Story, starring Bud Bundy.
Mm-hmm.
And
they should have put him in a movie about Ted Bundy.
Oh,
it'd have been too confusing.
Oh.
It'd be like, he's like,
Dead Bundy?
Dead Bundy?
Dead Bundy.
Ed's dead mother?
Ed's Dead Bundy.
We also talked about Hell's Highway, which is the true story of highway safety films. This was one of my favorite episodes, actually.
Mine too. I really did remind me of that. That I want to rewatch that.
Yeah, I'll watch it with you.
Yeah, I'm into it.
I have a 150-inch
You got a what?
outdoor movie screen right now that I got for like $30.
That's awesome.
That I think looks amazing. Real quick, I wanted to say though, thank you to our. We have a new patron, Joshua Dull.
Hi, sir.
Thank you so much.
Joshua.
Welcome to the family.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/NOTLP. That's what pays the bills. Kelley is just about finished up with this year's merchandise design, and
it's almost here.
I'm excited, and this is the first time we'll have Patreon fulfill our merchandise and see how that goes. Hopefully, you guys like what comes out of all this.
Yeah, I got a little excited this time around because usually I have to think very carefully about what colors I'm going to use, and I did still try to keep it limited just to give it that nice look, that nice screen look. But I was excited not to have to be limited by how many colors I was using, so that if I wanted to go a little outside of what I normally would, I was able to.
You can paint with all the colors of the wind now. If you
all of
wanted
them.
To. Yeah.
Kelley,
every color of the wind.
Kelley made it nice.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Dorinda Medley made it nice at her home in the Berkshires.
And his artwork this time has like a very rock and roll look to it, which I was really thrilled about. Coincidentally, the same year we talked about The Devil and Daniel Mouse.
Which I am going to go back and watch because I love rock and roll.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about rock and roll other than Debbie Harry.
Yeah.
And I've seen, I've gone back and watched clips from, but I haven't watched that movie. In a very long time.
I used to watch it a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
That and Heavy Metal, where I was obsessed with both of those movies.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, like you do.
Like you do. Kids of a certain age. Yeah.
That should be the name of our retrospect. Kids of a certain age.
That's us.
I'm putting a pin in that.
Please do.
We recorded a Night of the Comic too, like 2 weeks ago, and I'm still not finished editing it mostly because I'm just like in a hibernation mode.
Low
So
energy.
whenever I have the time, I'm just like,
It's getting cold out.
I gotta finish Jessica Jones, and I did. Now I
It's
have no
too busy.
excuses.
You finished off Jessica Jones.
I
How'd you like
finished
it?
her. She loved it. Pretty good.
Oh, good for her.
Good for her.
Good.
I'm glad you guys are both satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
That's how
I
we
said
do it.
she enjoyed it.
Oh,
Freddie's a generous lover.
he is.
I'm a selfish top.
Yeah, it's the weather's turning, you guys. Fall is it fell.
Oh, it was
It's
chilly.
crisp.
Well, yeah.
It's crisp.
Last night, here's something, Kelley, that you'll appreciate. Amy and Andy had never seen the original 1933 King Kong,
Oh, that's a great movie.
and we watched it last night outside on that big ass screen.
Yeah.
And what did you guys think?
It's cold.
It was cold. We had a couple of roaring campfires going. Andy had
It's
his
fine.
campfire, and we had ours.
Is that your review of
It was cold.
King Kong? It was cold.
I think
That's not going on the poster.
yeah. I think I mean it's fine. It was mostly for me watching all the little the effects that they were using and kind of giggling a little with love in my heart because I understood that this was 1933. But like the little dummies falling and
Yeah, when he rolls the
little
log,
miniatures.
Yeah.
and everybody
There's
starts
stuff-
falling off of it.
I feel like in the right frame of mind, that stuff still works really well.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think part of that too, Kelley, is just a touch of seeing it as children. Maybe.
Yeah. When I watch Ray Harryhausen, if someone talks about it being corny or cheesy, I actually get angry. Like I do. I get genuinely, if I hear someone talk about a Ray Harryhausen who doesn't know anything about that, and they're like, those corny, like dinosaur, it's corny. The corny old animation, it looks so fake. I get so
corny.
outrageously just like, do you understand the artistry behind that? It's beautiful.
And the craftsmanship too, like just the
It's
time.
beautiful.
There are little moments in that movie, not to be a complete nerd about this, but there are moments where they didn't have to do things where they took it a little further, like him holding the dead dinosaur and kind of playing with it a little bit, and just stuff like that. There's those little moments that had to take them an extra, days of work, I'm sure, for that little moment.
Definitely.
But there's lots of them in that movie too.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I don't want to be that old man, but like they don't make movies like they used to.
No, they don't.
Short.
Literally, because it's different film and everything. But I was so in awe of the sets and the scale of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt grand and big.
You know what's funny too, though, is when I was telling Andy and Amy, I was like, hey, it's only like an hour long. And I was like, wait, no, it's not. It's really almost 2 hours long.
It is?
It doesn't
moves
feel
the clip.
like it.
It doesn't. It has a real good pace. That is a movie for me, an old movie that holds up pretty beautifully.
And it does something that you mostly only see in modern cinema, which is it has 3 climaxes where, you know what I mean? It could have ended at any one of those points, but they're like, no, we're going to take it further. It's another instance of that philosophy behind the little extra details they add in, that where he's playing with the dead dinosaur and all that, those moments. Like they're like, we can plus this again and we could resolve it here, but no, we're going to give you this much more. And the stakes rise every time until it's literally, it's him climbing the Empire State Building. That's so huge,
Yeah.
And I loved watching it. I would love to see it at the drive-in on the really, really big screen.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't
agreed.
think seeing it on this like on a TV screen, I don't think it would have come across as well because it's like I said, the scale of it would have just been toned down. You need to see it, as big as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we were going to Candy Apple Island.
What's there?
apes, but they're not so big.
Andy reminded me of that Saturday Night Live sketch. Where it's that scene where he's climbing the Empire State Building, but his penis comes through a window, and it's these people trying to deal with it.
Yeah.
Maybe lay off.
And they jerk him off till completion.
And that is how you tame the beast.
Controversial sketch. Yeah. Well remembered.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a really old episode. It was from Salma Hayek. It was like mid 2000s. It's kind of a deep cut Saturday Night Live skit, but it just always stuck out to me because they're jerking off a giant gorilla. Yeah.
And they really do a great job too. Like in the original film, it's basically a scene where his arm comes through the window and in the hotel and everything, but instead it's just a big ape dick.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find this.
You know what else I liked about it? It just reminded me of the Great Movie Ride from Walt Disney World. Yeah. Just like classic movie making.
Yeah, I love those old movies.
It was just so simplistic of even how they related to each other. Because, boy, did that guy not like that lady. Or woman in general.
What? A woman on my ship? Yeah, there was so much great, I shouldn't say great, misogyny. But there were these hilarious moments that are in such stark contrast to what we understand as being appropriate now. Like when he takes Fay Wray literally off the street against her will, more or less. It's like, I found our girl. Yeah. Oh, it's so fun. Then we watched something that was not on the level of King Kong by a mile, but it's something old, something new. We watched the new Witches, the remake of the Jim Henson film.
So
it starts off great. First act, really good. And I'm like, wow, this is going to be really great. Second act, it starts losing some steam. Third act, it becomes completely ridiculous. And then it caps off with a really terrible end.
Andy's laughing.
No, it's, how they say people are like, an ending can't ruin the movie. It can.
Yeah. It can.
And it did.
It absolutely can.
Yeah, it's not like the movie preceding the end was great in any means. But the end was like, oh my God, are they serious?
Yeah. So, I mean, the Witches looked great and there were cool moments in it. But it felt like
grizzled Chris Rock mouse at the end.
Yeah, and spoiler alert.
Oh, whatever.
Because some people probably care. If you don't want to be spoiled on the Witches, Kelley, do you care if we spoil it?
Fuck no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kelley is all people.
We're gonna spoil the Witches. So fast forward.
Please spoil it for me because I'm not gonna watch it, but I want to hear why it was so bad. So listeners, if you don't want to be spoiled on the Witches, come back in like 3 minutes.
First, the good. The good is they set it in Alabama in the 60s. Octavia Spencer, always great.
Anne Hathaway was great too.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway was really, really good in this. They kind of, they change that part of it and they make it have, it has some great 60s moments in it, with great music and everything.
And racism,
Yeah. And they don't really touch on the racism except for one moment in the movie.
It's simmering.
Yeah. When they check into the hotel, they end up, just like in the original, she ends up going, it's kind of it felt like they were going there just to hide out because she's saying, witches want children, but they only want poor children. Yeah. So we're going to go stay in this ritzy hotel where my cousin is the head chef. And we'll be safe because witches won't be interested in these rich kids. They only want the ones no one will miss.
Yeah.
So far, so good. And it has this great narration by Chris Rock.
Is it great?
I mean, I love Chris Rock.
Oh, you said, is it great? Yeah, I think his narration was really good until the end.
No, I feel like his voice didn't fit with the time period.
I don't know. I don't see that so much. I think it's because maybe you're just hearing it's Chris Rock
It's
And
very
he-
Chris
it's hard-
Rocky.
And like
Yeah,
he's
it's hard to take him out of the Chris Rock mode.
right, and to take him
You're
out of
just
this
hearing Michael
era.
Scott doing Chris Rock.
Well, so far that to me that was the good stuff, right? And it has this great setup where Octavia Spencer's character as a child has a history with the witches. They turned her sister into a chicken.
That was actually pretty horrific.
It
Yeah.
was, and I thought the rest of the movie was gonna. I was like, wow, these scary moments are really actually kind of scary, and the humor was kind of was working for the most part in the first part.
It just gets weirdly childishly cheesy.
Well, it's very similar to the original once they get to the hotel. From there, it's very, very close to the original movie. And then after the climax of what would have happened in the original movie where the kids turn back and everything is more or less okay, instead, these kids stay mice. There's 3 of them.
And they're super thrilled about it.
And they're happy to be mice, and now it's like a Stuart Little situation for the climax of the movie. But they have this conversation, how long do mice live? And she's like, 3 years. He's like, oh, well, maybe. And she's like, but you're part human. Maybe you'll live longer. And she's dying.
Oh.
She's dying anyway. So he's like, well, maybe I'll live longer, and you won't live so long, and we can just die together.
It was like a really supposed to be a sweet moment, but I'm like, this is awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
But they don't die. They have that moment, but then they show them on, like, it looks like they're on tour as a musical act.
Mice.
The mice and Octavia Spencer. And there's all these punny postcards. It could be one of two things. They could be posters promoting a concert with featuring 3 talking mice and Octavia Spencer. Or they could be postcards to family members like, we were here together. It could be one or the other. They don't really say.
So they stay mice at the end.
Yeah. But
I don't like that.
Here's the reveal. The reveal is the narration is a slideshow being shown to children in the 70s, I think, or the 80s. And it's Chris Rock as an elderly mouse doing a slideshow to teach kids how to hunt witches.
They're gonna
To
hunt
teach
witches.
human children.
Yeah.
Human children how to hunt
So he's
witches.
like Splinter. Kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
And when they send all these children out to kill the witches, and then they show them getting into a van, Octavia Spencer and Chris Rock's elderly mouse character, and then this van with all these, the classic little witch silhouette from Halloween where she's flying on the broom. There's like one for each witch they've killed painted on the side of it.
So then they turn this into like an alternate universe kind of vampire slayer sort of.
Yeah.
Like we're now the witch slaying mice.
Yeah. Well, but you don't see the other mice. We assume they've died. you just
Many
get
years
elderly
before.
Chris Rock mouse.
Many years before. Because
It's so
mice don't live
weird.
very long.
The
Some
funniest
of them
thing
were
about
eaten by animals.
Yeah.
the elderly Chris Rock mouse, it had a receding hairline.
Oh, it was disturbing, man.
All of it was bad.
Yeah. And
Oh, wow. That ended
What-
on a real bummer.
yeah, another thing is like Chris Rock, the kid character, has a pet mouse, but it turns out to be a child that was turned into a mouse. But it's voiced by Kristen Chenoweth.
Yeah.
So this
The child voiced actor. Yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense.
this child sounds like this 60s Southern Belle. And
Very
it just
weird.
it's like, wait, you're a child, and you're
Well,
you're
they
the
kind of
sass-
do they address that in a really offhanded way where
It doesn't matter. I don't
they
need to delve
insinuate
more
maybe
into
she
this.
has been a mouse a lot longer. I think that's how they're hinting at they live longer and why he was able to age.
Who cares?
It's like she kind of says something, a throwaway line about how, oh yeah, I was a kid too when this happened.
It doesn't matter.
But it
you
doesn't
guys.
matter because the movie is really, honestly, the more I think about it, I'm sitting
Garbage.
here going, wow. It's Robert Zemeckis too, directed it.
Yeah.
Which I think this just speaks to maybe he hasn't grown into this modern era at all.
No, I'm sure that's
Stylistically.
probably true. What has he really been up to? Mostly.
I feel like the last thing I really liked by him was What Lies Beneath.
You know, he wrote an episode of Kolchak the Night Stalker. I just found that out.
I didn't know that.
It's probably one of the first things he did, if not the first.
I cannot recommend The Witches, if anybody was wondering.
Yeah, I mean, from a craftsmanship and effects standpoint, it's fine. if you just want to watch a movie that has fantastical things in it and decent performances in the first act,
That's a weird list of requirements.
you have to be you have to be a real like movie
Specific
fan.
kind of movie watcher to like it.
Well, if you like exploding witch farts,
Oh, yeah, so many witch farts.
then this movie's for you.
Oh,
Well, let me see. The last thing, I didn't see Welcome to Marwin, but I did not hear good things about that either.
It's not good. It's very early 2000s sentimentality, sappy movie.
Yeah.
Boo.
sounds about right.
Boo. Oh, you know what? I noticed a thing about when Steve Carell does dramatic roles. He does this whisper voice.
He plays real soft.
Yeah, it's very obvious when he's trying to be dramatic. He's like, yeah, I'm being dramatic.
I know what I definitely know what you mean. Like, he definitely plays like real down, like not a lot of express. Like it's a very like.
Yeah,
I will say Robert
Listeners couldn't
Zemeckis.
see, but I rubbed my hand down
it's
across the
actor
space in
reach.
front of me.
Andy or Kelley did a motion with his hand to indicate I don't
Down.
know what, but down.
I was just
Down.
going to say that Zemeckis did the Disney Christmas Carol from 2009 with Jim Carrey, which I actually really liked.
that.
So that might have been like his last strong thing for me.
I got you. I've never seen that actually.
I haven't seen Allied yet, which I've heard is good, but that's that World War II movie you did with Brad Pitt.
So what else are we watching or experiencing?
We did Marianne. We did her.
And liked it. You after you did Marianne, you really were into it, right?
I loved Marianne. We watched Bly Manor, which have you guys? Yeah, I know Andy
Not
said
yet.
he has not, and you haven't either. Okay. We watched Bly Manor, and I love the first season of The Haunting, and then I love the second one for different reasons, I think. But it didn't scratch my
It wasn't scary
scare
enough.
itch.
Well, and
yeah.
they're doing a second Hill House anyway, right?
Are
I
they?
feel like I thought I saw that there was going to be another Hill House.
Well, I mean, Bly Manor is the same team and actors.
It's their second season of Hill House,
Right, but I mean,
basically.
I thought I thought I saw that there was going to be another Hill House
with those
specific-
characters.
Yes,
Oh, I didn't know about
but
that.
I could be wrong.
he could be
Maybe I
wrong.
saw an old ad for
No,
the first season.
Well, I don't like that idea because I like the idea of the characters from Hill House having happy endings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they wrapped it up perfectly, and it'd be a mistake to continue their story.
I could be wrong about that then, if because I have not seen all of it. I have only seen the first episode of Hill House.
There's nothing.
sorry.
There's nothing in this world that nothing prevented the Witches from being remade the way it was. There's nothing in this world that will stop someone from ruining the Haunting of Hill House,
That's a cheery thought.
because this world is not kind.
So
but
we
I've heard that Bly Manor kind of went downhill.
It didn't.
It
it's still
was-
a great show.
it's great, but it didn't quite give me what I wanted.
It doesn't have those moments of like terror that you felt like you haven't yet, but you will feel watching the first season. Because there's some moments in that first season that are really terrifying. Now Marianne has that,
Yes.
and that's why I think why I wanted to pivot and watch that after.
I'm going to wait
Bly.
for the Professor series to come out.
It's French. We watched it dubbed because, frankly, my eyesight, I can't read all the time.
The default on Netflix, I think, is to give you the English dub of it, but I think
Is
it's
it okay? Is it pretty good English?
yeah, I
dub?
thought so.
mostly they're just
There are moments
they're-
where the acting's a little off, but
right, yeah, like there are moments that are that it kind of throws a wet blanket on a couple of scary moments to have the dubbing, but for the most part, it's really good dubbing. But if I watched it again, I would want to watch it in the original language, which I think is
I might
French.
just watch the subs.
Yeah. If you watch it, yeah, probably the subs, because I have a feeling these actors are much better than the people who did the ADR. So
well, you remember my thing. I always think when watching a movie where it's in a foreign language, I give them better acting points because I can't tell.
oh right, you don't pick up on a failure.
can't-
You apply a bonus already.
Yeah, I handicap them because I can't tell if they're speaking in a naturalistic way or not because I don't speak their language.
That's good. That's good of you.
Yeah, I'm the best. My dears.
She's a special lady. You guys been digging in anything good?
My butt, my nose. No, it's like I've been doing my 31 days of Halloween, so I've been just scrolling and finding what looks interesting. It's very 80s, where you just find a poster, you're like, hey, that looks interesting.
Yeah.
I've been going spooky. Like I said, started Kolchak the Night Stalker is available on the NBC app. I don't know if it's available on Peacock. I have to assume that it is. If everything that's available on the NBC app is available on Peacock, which I don't know why you would pay to not have everything that already exists on NBC. So it probably is, but it definitely is on their free app. Went and started rewatching that again.
Oddly, it is not on Peacock, as far as I can tell.
Fucking
but
stupid.
I'm not searching in the Peacock app, but I don't think it's in there. Let me check. You can keep going.
Well, guess what, Peacock? Now I'm definitely not buying you.
Oh shit, bro.
Because I can watch the one thing that I really cared to watch on your free app, and if Constantine is on there, I really don't care. Because I also kind of wanted to watch that. But,
okay.
And then I think, I can't remember if I said this on the show, but we watched The Legend of Hell House, which is awesome. And then started the new season of Killer Beside Me, for true crime listeners on ID Go, which is stories of coworkers who murder their coworkers.
It's creepy.
And no one really thought that was going to happen, and usually in these stories. And it's extremely creepy.
That's very specific. Like they just find out they interview their coworkers.
Well, I mean, that's who did the murder usually, is that there's a coworker. Yeah. And then they talk to their coworkers after the fact, and they're like, we definitely knew that Roy was a weird guy, but we didn't think he was going to do that. And then there's always one person that's like, I knew he was going to do something like that. So I didn't talk to him.
It turns out you're that person to some people.
You are the person.
It's like, I knew Kelley was going to do it. I just didn't think he would.
There's something about that guy. So anyway, that is spooky, and that's probably mostly watching a lot of Schitt's Creek.
So good. I revisited The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Oh, yes.
Which is so. I think after seeing it another time, I'm like, this movie is a classic. It's gonna be there on the top of my horror list for a long time.
Still haven't seen it yet. It is on the list.
It is so spooky. Did you see Last Shift?
Yes.
Did you like Last Shift?
Yeah, just rewatched that. Actually, not too long ago, probably 4 or 5 months ago. Rewatched Last Shift.
Autopsy of Jane Doe is a very similar movie.
Yeah, I'm super into that.
With a better cast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I liked I liked everything about Last Shift almost.
Yeah, I really like Last Shift a lot, but Brian Cox is so good in Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Well, he's great at everything. Yeah, you can't go wrong with the little Cox.
You need a little Cox in your life.
Yeah.
Now, Kelley, I will say that even though Peacock doesn't have Kolchak, they do have all the Universal Monster movies.
I feel like I can get those a lot of places.
Yeah. They have a pretty cool Halloween playlist, like with a bunch of other stuff. They have all of Hitchcock.
So much cock in this show.
So much cock. Basically anything, that Universal owns. For some reason, they don't have Kolchak on there, which blows my mind.
But they do have it on the NBC app. Why wouldn't they have it on both?
I don't know.
Maybe they have to do these things in shifts.
There has to be some weird contractual reason, I'm sure.
I don't know, everybody.
Well,
it does feel like I'm not. It'd be like me saying I'm not allowed to use my own coffee cup. Where I'm like, they're like, well, that coffee cup is for me on Tuesdays, but I'm not allowed to have it on Sundays. It's that fucking arbitrary to a layman like me.
So we carved our pumpkins last night.
Carved them up.
Me, Andy, and Freddy. Kelley, are you going to carve a pumpkin this year? Are you a pumpkin carver?
Well, I normally am a pumpkin carver, but this Halloween feels feels pretty. I don't know.
Sad.
Are you scared? Are you scared of the COVID via pumpkin?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've heard that pumpkins. I don't know. Again, I was gonna try and go to a thing, and I'm just.
Well, see, what I heard was that a bat was eating a pumpkin. That's how it all happened.
That's how it started.
But we carved him last night
While we watched Ichabod Mystery Toad.
and Freddy made a King Kong.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Oh, you saw it? Oh, did you already post that picture, Andy?
You posted.
They're all on the social medias.
Yeah.
So follow us at Night of the Living Podcast on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, and tell us who had the best pumpkin.
There's
And
a
the
great
least-
pumpkin.
That was Andy's.
Pumpkin.
Literally.
Andy literally made a great pumpkin, which I thought was fantastic. And I went Star Trek,
Yes.
and it was really hard, and I'm not good at drawing or carving.
It was really good, Amy.
Thank you.
And
And
think of a career change.
I've never done that thing where you just kind of like shave it down so the light peeks through, but it's not cut all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a new thing for me. It was very exciting.
Freddie he pumpkin-splained pumpkin carving to
Oh,
Amy.
he did a few times.
Well, anybody
I don't
who
wanna-
uses wood carving tools,
I don't want to have this conversation again.
Amy was using the scooping
I
wood
used
carving tool that you slide through and let it, it's the U-shape blade
the V shape.
or a V-shape, either one.
Woman-splained.
She stabbed it
shapes.
straight in and was like slicing at it like it was a knife. And I was
Yeah.
like, she's going to break that. She's going crazy.
He grabbed it out of her hand.
I slapped
and said,
her.
This is how you do it.
Yeah.
And he was like Montel Jordan. He was like, "This is how we do it."
This is how we do it.
Amy, you.
Well, I'm
ignorant
glad.
slut.
I'm glad that your man got you in check.
I mean,
wise and learned you.
otherwise I'd be out on these streets carving
Be out
pumpkins
there
like a
just
maniac.
selling your pumpkins left and right to whoever would give you a V-shaped tool
the V.
with which to stab into it incorrectly.
We
Exactly.
Amy and I watched Borat's subsequent movie film.
Oh, I'm getting ready to watch that.
It's good.
It is really good, actually.
It's a good movie. In addition to being very funny, it's also he's struck a balance between the humor and the heart that none of his other movies had.
We also did actually the other night. We went on a Sacha Baron Cohen. Just a little. We watched a bunch of Ollie G episodes. Yeah. So this is going to blow some people's fucking nips off, but I've never seen Borat, the first movie.
You haven't yet?
No, I have not yet.
Oh, I'm excited for you. Did you see Bruno?
No, I haven't seen any of his movies of that ilk.
I think everything he's in is pretty good except for The Dictator, I think was the name of it.
Yeah.
You can skip that one.
Okay.
If you want to.
I really enjoy Who is America.
Yeah, and I never saw that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wait, which one's Who is America?
The show he did on, was that HBO?
Oh, on HBO.
Yeah, Showtime, I think, is what that was on.
Yeah.
But find that if you like those things, I think, because it's outrageous. It's nutrageous.
It's nutrageous.
It's
Delicious.
outrageous.
It's surreal to hear him say, my wife, again.
After everyone else has said it now for the last 10 years.
Yeah. It was
So he actually goes back to my wife.
He says it. There's one moment where
it's not like a bunch of, not like that, but.
I kind of wish he had just done it deliberately, just constantly like turned to the camera and just went, my wife.
I love the civilians in the movie too. They had some good ones in this one.
I love how, like, even though Kelley never saw Borat, everybody still knows about the my wife.
It's ubiquitous. Well, I mean, if you watch anything else, you know all about it.
It's true. Speaking of references, the Goldbergs this week did an airplane episode.
Yeah.
And I thought,
how's the Goldbergs doing? I haven't watched in a couple seasons.
It's fun. A lot of their show is references.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's great and sometimes that's just feels lazy. But I was worried this one was going to be, I'm like, you're taking the funniest movie ever made and are you just going to reference it? That would be really annoying if they're just going to do the jokes their way. You know what I mean? Like that was my fear going into it. But the theme of the episode is how annoying it is that Adam keeps referencing Airplane because they're going on a flight. So everybody he talks to, he tries to make it about the movie Airplane. So they made it work. It's pretty funny. And I was like,
I feel that's us.
Yes.
well, yeah, he would call the flight attendant over just to quote the movie. And they were just starting to lose their minds. Yeah. And then there's a great bathroom bit in there. So they didn't just, do what I thought they were going to do, because that would have been unbearable.
He was pleased.
I'm glad it was bearable.
It was bearable.
He was pleased.
And then
I'm glad you were able to bear down.
The Connors came back and they're doing quarantine. Their show is just in it.
Yeah.
The family is living like we're living. So they're back to being right on the pulse of America's dick.
Yeah.
The throbbing dick of the United States of America.
It's a rotten dick.
Yeah.
Aunt Jackie's fingers are right there testing it.
So today is the 25th October, which means the next time we record, with the last show we record before the election.
And this is our last show before Halloween.
And our last show.
Yeah.
This is our last show before Halloween.
Our votes were counted.
Everybody you are listening to right now has voted, and their ballots have been accepted. It's almost over. and whatever new fresh hell is awaiting us on the other side, I have no doubt that it'll be an exciting and new one.
There was a peculiar sense of relief and release when we put the we ended up dropping ours off instead of mailing them, just to be more,
yeah,
whatever
just to
more
make
secure
sure.
is.
But here's the thing: it's those goddamn Trump's campaigning has worked for me to a certain extent, because it made me paranoid about my vote not getting through and counting. So I went and voted in person just to make sure I got my vote counted.
Right.
I was pretty.
That's why we dropped off. Like, I mean, I know those can still be tampered with, but I was like, they're really targeting the mail, it sounds like. So let's just put these in let's take them to the board.
Yeah. But Amy and Freddie sent theirs in. They got the confirmation.
Right. It worked.
Worked
like a charm.
Postal Service. Yeah. When they got my ballot within 3 days.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
But like a real sense of release. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but it was like, I've done what I can.
Yeah.
And now it's in
God's hands.
It's in God's hands.
It's in God's hands.
I don't know why I heard that as the God pan.
It's in God's pans.
It's in the God
It's
pan.
in God's pan.
The great God pan.
He's going to cook it up.
In the great God pan.
So
and give us something new at the end.
We watched the very controversial It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Is it controversial?
It is, because it moved to Apple TV Plus now, and they own the rights to it.
That's why it was controversial, because you can only watch it in one place. I saw a headline about that, but I didn't bother reading it.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, I don't know why, if I've ever brought this up before or not, but what the fuck is a sincere pumpkin patch? As many times as I've watched that show.
It's the most sincere pumpkin patch. It's the one with the most Halloween belief.
He said it had the least, what was it, the least cynicism or something?
No, he just said sincere.
But then he said my pumpkin patch has the least something, like the opposite of sincerity. He says it doesn't fuck around. He's like, my pumpkin patch is a wet ass pumpkin patch.
So
my pumpkin patch is a try hard.
The definition of sincere is free from pretense or deceit, proceeding from genuine feelings.
So it was about not doubting the great pumpkin.
Or not being commercial. Like the commercialization. There was so much about the commercialization of Christmas, I feel like, in Christmas special, that it could possibly, there's also a lot of commercialization, especially at the time of Halloween, with all the plastic masks coming out and it just sort of ramping up to become the new American Christmas. I imagine that it probably has something to do with
pumpkins
the true spirit.
Pumpkins are being so commercialized. We've fallen for Big Pumpkin. Big Pumpkin got to us.
He says, I don't see how a big pumpkin. I don't see how a pumpkin patch can be more sincere than this one. You can look around and there's not a sign of hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy, that's what
nothing but sincerity as far as the eye can see.
And he missed Tricks or Treats because of that.
Yeah, he wants to see the great pumpkin.
And he still didn't see it. That's fucked up.
No.
Pisses off Sally something fierce.
Yeah. She's like, you know what? I missed Tricks or Treats and you didn't even try to make out with me.
It's a complex message for kids.
They don't let him off the hook either at the end. He just has to sit in that discomfort
He does. And also, I'm beginning to suspect that Charlie Brown had the same rock and he just wanted attention. And every time they went to a house, he'd be like, they gave me a rock again. Can you believe it? He has a little black cloud following him around. He's that person at work. You know the one I'm talking about.
He's the Eeyore.
Like, you think that's bad?
Yeah.
That type of person.
Yeah, I got a rock at every house. You got a rock at every house you went to for tricks or treats.
These people went out and picked up a rock to give to kids,
just in case a shitty little kid came by.
Kid that's like, well, I got a razor blade. So
at every house.
At some point in Charlie Brown's adult life, someone said to him, "Just do it." And the answer was to the question, "Should I kill myself?"
Yeah, it was probably Lucy.
It was probably Lucy who just got fed up.
Yeah,
and she told him to just do it.
Did Charlie Brown grow up to be Frank Grimes?
Yes.
Oh my God! Just do it. Oh, that's terrible! Don't do it.
She's like, "There's a gun in my nightstand. It's loaded."
All right.
Except then he tries to shoot himself with it, and it's not.
No, she pulls it away at the last minute, and he's only paralyzed. And then she tries to fool him again when he's in his wheelchair. And he's like, "I'm not going to fall for that again." And she's like, "Here, I have a signed statement that says I won't knock the gun away." And he can still use the one arm, and he pulls out the statement that Lucy gives him, and he looks at it, and he's like, "Well, it is a signed statement."
Is it notarized?
And he goes to shoot himself, and she knocks it out of his one good hand again, but the bullet destroys the one eye he can still see out of.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "It wasn't notarized."
So cool.
That's how it ends.
That's really sad. I don't like it.
Well, at some point you have to stop feeling sorry for him because
True.
You run out of chances with some people.
Fool me
He
once.
doesn't take steps to improve himself.
Take
just Charlie
charge.
Brown's, like in that song from Weddings.
Yeah.
From
So
Weddings.
it sounds like, this version of Charlie Brown, it seems like he's going to be a Trump supporter because he blames everybody else for his problems.
It's not a version of Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown would
Is
never
Charlie-
vote for Donald Trump.
Is he a boogaloo boy?
No, stop this. He's a sweet little boy that is bullied a lot.
He doesn't vote. He has an excuse on election day or on voting day where he's just like, I'd make it, but they gave me a rock instead of a ballot. And then he would tell everybody, he's like, I went to 3 polling stations and they just gave me a rock at every polling station. My vote doesn't count. But it's okay. He votes Green Party anyway.
Snoopy wouldn't fly me to the polls on his doghouse plane.
Snoopy's got a new series coming out.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Snoopy is as Snoopy does.
Mm-hmm.
Mom always said.
Life is like a Snoopy poopy.
What?
I don't know.
All right, we're done here.
All right, news?
Yeah, let's move on to the news.
You got
shall
patrons?
we? Huh?
Did we already say hi, patrons?
Hi, patrons. Thank you for your support. Again, patreon.com/NOTLP if you want to sign up for that.
All right.
All right. Well,
Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is happening.
There's a special one of your cities. The major cities in the world are being destroyed.
The people it kills get up and kill.
Partially devoured.
Remember, human beings are their food.
so normally I won't do news about a trailer being released because,
Yes.
I mean, how am I supposed to do that?
Right.
But A, there's not much news to be had these days, movie-wise. And B, this is about something that seems fun and interesting to me. So Shudder, the streaming service that some of us may or may not know about, being
I know about it.
a horror service.
Get comfy, buddy. Get comfy there.
Sit up there.
Yeah.
I was sinking. So Shudder has released a trailer for what is an upcoming Creepshow animated special.
Ooh.
That's a great idea.
Although it looks like the trailer supposedly is mostly live action. So,
What?
anyway, a Creepshow animated special features 2 stories directed by Creepshow showrunner Greg Nicotero with animation by Octopi Animation Studio. I haven't watched this trailer yet. Survivor type. Hey, Stephen King. I feel like they've tried to do a lot of Stephen King on this. Again, I haven't actually watched the new series yet, but so they do Survivor type, which is a great Stephen King short from Skeleton Crew. And then, and they do a Joe Hill story. I feel like they really just they do Twittering from the Circus of the Dead. Also, great story by Joe Hill, where he uses tweets as it's sort of a epistolary short story told through tweets.
Which one is this again, Kelley?
Twittering from the Circus of the Dead. Good story.
Sounds like a Joe Lansdale title.
It does, but it's Joe Hill.
Do you double check?
Well, I did.
He did.
You're making sure it's not Joe Lansdale. You're like,
it's not Joe or Lansdale.
It's not him. I'm pretty sure it's Joe Hill. These Joes.
So it's going to premiere on the 29th. So coming up, y'all.
Oh my god.
That's no time at all.
It's animated. But again, supposedly the trailer is mostly not. So I don't know about that. But I'm excited that that's happening and that those two stories are being adapted because I like both of those a lot. Oh no.
It's okay to like those stories, Kelley.
No, I went away from my reading list.
Oh no.
Well, did you get it back?
Yeah, I got it back.
Oh, okay.
I like this idea because one of my favorite parts of the Creepshow movies is where the wraparound story that was animated.
Oh, and the second one?
Yeah. Well, the first one had animated parts to it too.
Wasn't it just real brief though?
It was real brief. Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It was real brief.
No, I don't
right about that.
I do like the animation. I know some people complained when that movie came out. I remember they were like, they wanted the old puppet back. You know what I mean? Like they wanted the creeper from the first movie, which they brought back in the series on Shudder.
Yeah.
But they kind of combined the animation too into it. But I really do like the version in the second one.
I really don't care for Creepshow 2 at all. The animation part it's good. Like the animation itself is well done. And I even like the little wraparound story. It actually might be the part of that movie I like the best.
Really? You don't like the raft?
I like the story. I don't. It's okay. I guess of the three stories, it's the best one.
Yeah. Not a fan of Old Chief Woodenhead.
So much about that story confuses me.
This hair is gonna make me a star.
This hair is gonna make me a star. But I'm also gonna rob this tiny little general store. I'm just so pissed off. But I'm gonna be a star. You think so? You think you're gonna rob a store and then become a huge movie star based on your hair?
Thanks for the ride, lady.
Makes perfect sense. That one's actually not bad.
I like that one a lot.
I just don't like it as a whole. It doesn't have the same feel.
Yeah, you're right. It is definitely a different movie. And you might not like the Shudder series if you didn't like Creepshow 2.
Well, here's the thing about Creepshow 2 is just, I feel like Creepshow, the series, and I might not like it. I don't know yet, but I feel like I'm going to give it more because it's sort of hey, we want to make Creepshow fans. Like, we want to bring you some nostalgia.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, they made a movie, Creepshow 3, that was really, really, really terrible.
I remember hearing about that. Yeah. I've never even tried.
Nor should you.
Out.
It's awful.
I won't ever watch that. But anyway, I will check this out, especially again because it seems like they do a lot of specific Stephen King short stories for the show. So I'm into that. So anyway, we'll see how that turns out, won't we? Here's another headline. Bride of Frankenstein, Scarlett Johansson reanimates horror icon for A24. Now, I didn't write that headline, ladies and gentlemen. That is copyright, another news service.
Who?
It's Arrow in the Head. That's where I get all my...
I like the voice, though.
Thank you. So Scarlett Johansson is working with screenwriters Lauren Schuker Bloom and Rebecca Angelo, and they are collaborating with director Lee Hwanell and also
he did Invisible Man, didn't he?
Yeah. He
well,
did.
and all the Conjurings and
but the Invisible Man is like way better than any of his other stuff.
James Wan did quite a. They were
Annabelle's.
partners.
Isn't he part of Annabelle? That thing.
He's part of.
It's that whole crew.
Acted in.
He did Saw, right?
Insidious, right?
He either wrote or directed Saw and acted in Saw. He's done both for both. So I'm not sure which of the Conjuring / Sinisterverse / Insidious verse stuff was specifically directed or written by Leigh Whannell, but he's written in some of them, acted in some of them. James Wan has directed and written some of them. I don't know, but they both made Saw together.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt.
How dare you?
No, that's okay. Leigh Whannell. Ryan Gosling is going to be in this movie.
Actually, sorry to interrupt. Leigh Whannell directed Insidious Chapter 3, which was actually my favorite of the series. Yeah, he did Upgrade, which was a fun action movie. It was a lot like people called it. Everybody compares it to Venom for a lot of reasons. You'll see. Venom. And then The Invisible Man. So he's only directed 3 movies.
But he's a writer.
Oh, I feel like he did a lot more for some reason.
But he is attached. Well, he acted in all the Insidious movies, I think.
He's attached to the new Wolfman, Escape from New York, and for some reason it still has Upgrade listed as an upcoming project.
Well, the Wolfman I'm about to mention. So Leigh Whannell and Ryan Gosling are working on an update of Le Wolfman, and they're also working on a project inspired by the Bride of Frankenstein. And this one is not set up at Universal. And the film is titled Bride. And it's coming from A24, which makes great stuff, and Apple, which, they make iPods. And so Scarlett Johansson is starring as the bride, directed by Sebastian Lelio, who's also working on a script for the movie. And it goes like this. Here's the synopsis. A woman.
What?
Mm-hmm. A woman
created to be an ideal wife. Stepfordy sounds like. The singular obsession of a brilliant entrepreneur. Also kind of sounds a little Ex Machina-esque. Rejects her creator and is forced to flee her confined existence. Confronting a world that sees her as a monster. It is on the run. It's when she has the runs that she finds her true identity, her surprising power, and the strength to remake herself as they've remade this movie.
It sounds like a rom-com.
As her own creation.
Yeah. She's going to find love somehow.
So before this, this director, Sebastian Lelio, did Gloria Bell, which I think that's a movie about middle-aged older people.
Sure. Middle-aged older people.
Like towards the end of middle age, going into,
the diaper years?
The
later middle
diaper
age.
years.
I love that show.
Disobedience. This person did Best Foreign Film Academy Award winner, A Fantastic Woman. Gloria, which is maybe the origin for Gloria Bell. The Year of the Tiger.
I know none of these.
Nope.
I got bad taste.
And
though.
The Sacred Family. I know I've seen this trailer for Gloria Bell because I remember thinking, oh, that's not a movie for me.
Gloria Bell.
Sounds like
not that it looked bad. It just it looked like a drama. Like it just. Like
I love their ice cream though.
Oh
yeah, right.
Who is that again? That makes the. What's that Bell ice cream?
Blue Bell.
Blue Bell. Yeah, that stuff's good.
Baby Bell's cheese.
Baby Bell's the cheese.
Yeah.
There's so much going on here that's
stupid.
So Scarlett Johansson, although the name Frankenstein is never mentioned in the announcement for the movie, Scarlett Johansson makes a reference to the monster in the statement that she gives about the project.
Fire bad.
Yes, that's what she said, and that is it.
She's in character.
It is long overdue for Bride to step out of the shadow of her male counterpart and stand alone, and which is because I mean Bride is, I think, a much superior movie to Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Working alongside, which I don't think is, that's not a hot take. I think everybody pretty much agrees with that.
Sizzling take.
Working alongside Rebecca Angelo and Lauren Schuker Bloom, Sebastian and I are extremely excited to emancipate this classic anti-heroine and reanimate her story to reflect the change we see today.
Okay, ScarJo.
My God, she made it sound boring.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
She's great though. Casting for
yeah,
the
I think
Bride.
that would work
Yeah,
very
for sure.
well.
I would love to see Matt Berry play Dr. Frankenstein.
Dr. Frankenstein. I'd like to see him play everything.
Yeah,
including me.
What about the Bride
the
of
story
Frankenstein?
of the podcast.
All right.
So anyway, that's that news.
Yeah.
I stopped as if someone else was doing the news.
Oh, I got a story for you. This is real brief. Apparently, so they've been doing research on Henry VIII
situation
and the execution of Anne Boleyn.
Okay.
And there's some disturbing shit. Like it took a long time for them to get to the point where they were going to let him do it. Like people were like, he's not serious.
King Henry VIII.
Yeah, and I guess he had a lot of.
You've been saying he was going to do it for a while. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he'd led up to it.
I'm going to cut this chick's head off.
Yeah, well, originally I think he was going to burn her. Like he went through all these things about how to do it and was really heavily involved.
Everybody's
in her
like,
execution.
no, that can't be true. That's not.
Speaking of serial killers,
they're not going to do this thing.
It was the case like that where they're like, there's no way he's going to execute Anne Boleyn.
There's no way Trump really means he's going to.
Yeah.
He's doing it.
It's very similar to that, like where he kept pushing until eventually, he did what he was going to do. It's really horrifying stuff, but I thought it was Halloween-y, a Halloween kind of story.
This is just random.
The Guardian.
History news.
Yeah, the Guardian released the story today.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, if you go to the Guardian site, it's in the headline. It's chilling find shows how Henry VIII planned every detail of of Boleyn beheading. But I just thought that was really spooky.
That is spooky. It's like true crime for the Middle Ages.
Yeah,
not really the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, I guess.
What a monster.
I don't really even know. I don't know what I'm talking about. But that is horrifying, and I'm into it.
He's into it.
I'm into it.
Not in like a good way, but
I'm
in
into
a
learning.
that's interesting way.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm into learning, and they're all dead anyway.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
So here's something, Freddie. You might be interested about this. You probably already know about this.
What's that?
Disney Plus is doing a Willow series.
Oh yeah.
Starring Warwick Davis.
Ron Howard's coming
I don't
back
know if he's
too,
starring.
right?
He's returning.
Right.
And John M. Chu is going to direct it. Let's take a look at this news.
It'd be weird if he doesn't star, considering he's Willow.
Yeah, well, he's old though.
He's in pretty good shape.
Yeah. So,
you all right?
I'm just trying to get to the pertinent point about this story.
Kelly, we can't keep the baby.
Kelly's buffering.
So, Mr. Chu, I can't. His first name is up further in the article.
John.
I thought you started to say up for debate.
No. Anyway, he says this. Oh no, this is the synopsis of the original.
Sorry, this is the original screenplay for A Nightmare on Elm Street I'm reading.
Well, while you're looking through that, I showed my mom this news because Willow is one of her favorite movies, and she was delighted. Delighted.
Oh, that's exciting.
So it's good news.
So it is good news. So it's expected to begin filming in Wales, and sometime next year, and it will take place years after the events of the original film. It introduces all new characters to the enchanted realm of fairy queens and two-headed Eborsisk monsters, and welcomes back its hero, Willow Allgood. Woo! Jonathan Kasdan wrote the pilot episode. That's it. There you go. And is going to serve as the showrunner alongside Wendy Miracle. You guys like this? You listeners into me trying to sort out.
Kelly's holding his phone, names. One eye closed.
He looks like Billy Barty right now.
It's kind of adorable. It's like
really is.
A toddler trying to learn how to read.
This is what Mr. Chu says about the movie. Growing up in the 80s, Willow has had a profound effect on me. The story of the bravest heroes and the least likely places. Well, you should read The Hobbit, sir. If you're into that.
It's crazy. There are animals in this that don't exist in the real world.
In the least likely places, allowed me, an Asian American kid growing up in a Chinese restaurant looking to go to Hollywood, to believe in the power of our own will, determination, and of course, inner magic. So the fact that I get to work with my heroes from Kathleen Kennedy to Ron Howard is bigger than a dream come true. It's bucket list moment for me. John Kasdan and Wendy Miracle, there I said it right, have added such groundbreaking new characters. All right, anyway, so they're making Willow into a TV show.
All right.
On Disney Plus.
Any casting news that you might have seen?
Warwick Davis.
He's gonna play all the characters. It's like the clumps.
Yes.
I wonder how many little people are going to get jobs because of this, which is cool.
It's just gonna be Peter Dinklage.
Yeah. How many little people were pissed off, you think, when The Hobbit or when Lord of the Rings came out and they just cast regular sized actors and they're like, we'll just use forced perspective. We'll spend this fortune, and somebody's out there, some little person's at Juilliard learning their craft, and they're like, did you read The Hollywood Reporter today? They're using regular size actors and forced perspective. They quadrupled their budget to do that, and we're still waiting on our big breaks.
Well, when you put it like that, that makes me sad now.
Well,
I always thought about that. I was like, because when we were kids, if you wanted a little person, you casted a little person.
This is true. I was actually, and I'm not trying to take away from little people working, but I was, because I mean, hobbits they're not little people.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
They're little people, but they're not little people. And
but
so
Pecks weren't little people either, right?
No.
They were another species.
All right, Freddy. You're just being
facetious.
He's being contrary.
Munchkins weren't little people.
Well, I don't know about Munchkins. I don't know from Munchkins.
We didn't land on the flying house. The flying house landed on with a witch and almost us.
We don't even know. It could have. That part of the story is, I'm sure there's some revisionist version of Oz that does address that. They love doing that. People do.
And little people don't have their own Malcolm X story either, do they? You think about it.
I don't know.
Maybe Malcolm lowercase x.
Oh, Freddy Morris.
Kelley. I'm so mad at you right now.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, good for you.
I think the time has come.
All right. I will say that
the fact that I can make these jokes speaks to the problem.
I haven't seen Willow in years.
Years.
I know. Decades.
Just can't stop.
Just shush.
It's like fucking Pringles.
Let me give you a new shovel for Christmas so you can, because you broke this one.
Little people jokes are like a can of Pringles.
So cool about Willow and stuff, you know.
It is cool. I got one last piece of news.
Please move on.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do with this one.
I'm always putting my foot in my mouth.
No. Elvira has a new comic book series called Omega Ma'am.
I like that.
On the way. I love Elvira. Everybody loves Elvira.
She was on To Tell the Truth recently.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you bring that up, I do the old. I don't even know if they still use that theme song or not.
It's similar.
So here's the official press release. That's good that they do that. So this is based on Cassandra Peterson apparently started a Kickstarter for the comic series. And
she did a GoFundMe to get that rolling.
Okay, Freddie.
What'd you say?
I said she did a GoFundMe to get the Kickstarter rolling.
Ah, yes.
Sorry, I fucked you up.
Dynamite Entertainment. It's written by Cassandra Peterson herself.
She's got a long time. She's great. I mean, like, she had a writing credit on pretty much everything she's done.
Yeah. So her and her collaborator, David Avalone. I don't know if that's how his name is actually pronounced. It could be Avallon. And here the press release says this brand new 48-page story finds Elvira waking up from a short coma due to a hairspray overdose to discover deserted Los Angeles, wandering around with her canine companion. It seems like maybe she may be the sole survivor, but the last sex symbol on Earth is not alone. So this is very an I Am Legend with Elvira here. That's awesome. She must contend with a cult of zombie-like survivors who've ingested cleaning products that alter their What the fuck? Oh, here we go. Sorry, my phone. My phone did a weird thing. So anyway, Elvira, the art looks good. I mean, looks real good.
Okay, Kelley, thank you.
At least the cover does. So yeah, yay! I'm into that. Elvira's great. I'm glad that she can keep finding projects to keep her out and about and in our lives and hearts and eyeballs.
Yep.
In our hearts and eyeballs.
She's a good person.
She is a good person.
She's fantastic.
So
we don't deserve
that's
her.
all the news.
If you haven't seen her, to tell the truth, it's pretty great.
Okay, honey. We get it.
What's great is the people that don't know who she is
I know.
immediately when you see her.
I'm like, that's Elvira.
Oh my gosh.
So that's all the news. Yeah, there's not much going on out there in the world.
Basically, everything is being pushed back even further into 2021. Yeah. Although I do think it's funny, like I keep seeing all these headlines, like such and such has been pushed back further into 2021. It's like, yeah. I know. Is that really a surprise now that Godzilla Godzilla versus Kong is pushed back, or that Batman is pushed back? Or yeah, of course it is. Well, this is a weird time for us.
There is a lot of just mediocre garbage coming out this month. And even, they're supposed to save the did they change the Academy rules? I don't know. I haven't really looked into that. Like, does it still have to show in a theater?
I'm not sure.
I have no idea, honey.
I wonder if they're going to adjust to that. Because, like,
I sort of gave up on the Oscars a couple years ago.
I hate them.
I don't care.
I used to love it.
Me too. I loved them up until probably the late 90s. And then after that, it just started becoming like this really gross thing to me.
Here's the thing. I love the Oscars. I love the Oscars when the movies I like win. That's when it matters to me. But when they lose, I'm like, fuck the Oscars.
I was still into it till probably up till about 5-6 years ago. And then it's just sort of become, like you said, kind of gross and silly and just not. It's like a fake celebration movie. I mean, it probably always was, but like I just finally caught up to the fact that it just it bites.
It's not relevant to my interests in any way.
Well, it's also like it feels like a country club.
Yes, it does.
It's all about like this elite group of people who only award the people who are in their circles. Yeah. And then they do the reach out where they're like, oh, maybe this year we'll let a minority have it.
Yeah, agreed. I'm not into it anymore. So anyway,
they're
don't know about the Oscars, but I know all the movies are being pushed back that are good.
The award for
supposed to be good.
Best performance of a little person by a regular sized person goes to the envelope, please. Elijah Wood. Again.
He wins every year.
Every year.
He plays Warwick Davis in the Warwick Davis story.
Yeah. Elijah couldn't be here tonight due to his tiny stature. He could not catch up with his Uber. So accepting on his behalf is an actual little person who is very disgruntled.
That's just poor planning on Elijah's part.
Yeah.
This is when Freddy hears the word representation matters. This is where he goes.
Well, I'm thinking of
as a white man.
As a white man, I like to think I want to spread my joy out to the furthest reaches
seeds
of the disenfranchised.
Yes.
So I stand today for the little person.
Okay.
Much like.
There have been times
brave.
in my life where I looked at Peter Dinklage and go, "You can get it.
He's cute.
You can get it,
he's
buddy."
handsome.
He's a handsome dude.
Can you call a
get
little
it.
person cute and it'd be okay? Because then there's all these other connotations.
Freddie, stop getting in your head.
Yeah.
Just sit down and shut up.
Dinklage is a handsome man.
Dinky,
Petey Dinks.
Petey Dinks.
But this sounds patronizing, just saying it. He's
But
like
it's not.
almost as good looking as a regular sized
All right,
person.
you're really spiraling out of control right now, and I need you to just stop.
You are not pretty for a little person.
Move on
He's just
to
trying to
it.
make himself look better, Amy.
Oh my
He's just
God,
trying to
Freddie.
drag.
I'm just trying to get out in front of this little person
Freddie.
controversy that I've started.
Down to your level.
You need to just stop. Stop it.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. I think he's going insane. He never goes anywhere. He doesn't even go to the office. He just sits in this house. He buys things on Amazon and he loses his mind.
There's only going to be certain songs from The Wizard of Oz that you can sing as a regular sized person.
So anyway, thank you for that news, Kelley. I very much appreciate the time you spent.
Thank you. You're extremely welcome.
It's very nice of you. All right.
Yeah, I love real time news with Kelley.
Yeah.
Where he's learning
Well,
about it with us.
Well, I am. I just look at the headlines.
Ooh.
Breaking story for me and everybody else.
I see headlines that seem somewhat interesting to me, and I mark them and I come back so that we can all have fun together.
It's all you can do, man.
And
It's
we
all you
did
can
have fun,
do.
Kelley. We did have fun.
Yeah.
We
So
did
much
have fun.
fun.
I felt. We heard some jokes,
We did.
some appropriate ones,
Very
some inappropriate
inappropriate.
ones. We lived, we laughed, we loved,
We live.
we
laugh,
prayed,
love.
we ate.
So it looks like, Oscar season's probably not starting until late December to January when those movies start coming out. The ones who are the Oscar bait movies.
Right, they're waiting for the good movies to come out. They're like, nothing good's coming out right now, so let's hold off.
You'll get respect in 2021,
I think what you can. The only
unlike the American little person actor.
The only good thing, I'm going to just keep going, is that this time in 2020, which we're seeing a lot of shows getting canceled, or things that were going to happen getting canceled. The only good thing that can come out of that is over the next year or two, we'll be able to just finally catch up on the shit that already exists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Instead of anything new.
Find those good shows that people have been saying,
You really need to watch
yeah,
this.
you should watch. Like, I've never seen Better Call Saul.
Yeah. We watched Breaking Bad.
I
and we
love
never
Breaking
watched-
Bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to catch back up. I've only seen the first 2 seasons of Better Call Saul, but it is great stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of good like that and Ozark and so many crime shows, mostly crime shows that I want to catch up on. There's a movie coming out in the winter, Kelley, you might be interested in, called Rumble. Do you know about this? About the giant monster wrestling?
No,
That
sounds good.
It's animated.
Well, I like animated movies. Like a Pixar type animated movie.
Yeah. It's like
Is
I don't
it
know.
cutesy?
I mean, well, here, I'll tell you the cast and you can determine what you think from that. But it's Terry Crews is the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Will Arnett.
Making my way downtown.
Ben Schwartz.
Oh, this is a good cast.
Yeah. Tony Danza's in it.
But it's a kids
Closer.
movie, right? I'm not saying that's a. I'm not saying that's a.
yes.
No,
I know what you
shitty.
mean.
Like,
I mean, it's clearly like aimed at families and children, I'm sure.
I was trying to, when you first said it, I was trying to determine if it was like an anime, I was trying to decide if it was like a family animated movie or if you were saying like it was like an anime.
Right, like in a heavy metal.
I got you.
Terry Crews tits are out the whole time.
Yeah.
But he plays a character called Tentacular, and he's this big blue guy who has like 6 tentacles, this wrestler. And it looks like a kind of a play on like the WWE, but with giant monsters.
Oh.
I don't know. It could be fun.
It does. No, I actually, I enjoyed the first one of those Monsters versus Aliens movies.
Yeah, that was fun.
It's cute.
It had I love the big Mothra worm character.
That bunny looking thing that looked dumb.
Yeah, it was
with the cross eyes. Yeah, he was cute.
Yeah, and he turned into the beautiful Mothra thing at the end. You guys remember?
No.
You remember?
Was that in that movie?
Yeah. Seth Rogen?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was the big blob?
He was the blob, and then there was the really cute, like, caterpillar character.
Maybe. I don't remember the caterpillar, but I believe you.
It may be worth revisiting, because there's a lot of great, like, kaiju stuff in that.
Yeah, no, it is a good movie. Sasquatch is in it.
Yeah, this director is one of the people who worked on both the Shrek movies and the Monsters and Aliens movies.
Oh, nice. Well, I love Shrek, so.
And Captain Underpants.
I'm not afraid to say publicly that I love Shrek.
Yeah, I love Shrek.
And not just the first Shrek. I love the first three.
Yeah. I haven't gone back to it since seeing it for the first time, and I don't think I ever will.
Well, I just did recently.
Yeah.
Elise and I went through the first three Shrek movies.
You Shrek'd it up?
Did you do it in VR?
Yeah, we lived in it.
It was like the holodeck, and you guys were living.
Oh,
as
you guys
Shrek.
should dress up as Shrek
we
and
were
Fiona.
Shrek and Fiona. That's what happened. And I'm always like, Fiona.
Oh my God, you guys would
Shrek.
that'd be the most adorable Halloween costumes. You guys are perfect for a Shrek Fiona Halloween costume.
Donkey.
Donkey.
You can dress up one of the cats as Donkey.
Fiona.
Or maybe one of the boys.
All of them.
Oh my God, that's cute.
All right, what else are we doing on this show?
We have some feedback here and there. Well, if you want to contact the show, it's crew@notlp.com. Facebook is /notlp. That's the same on Twitter. Instagram is Night of the Living Podcast. Sorry you have to type so much, but somebody already had NOTLP.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry.
So, here's what we got, folks. Jimmy B says, "Hey, Freddie, I was watching some Halloween specials yesterday that I always watch at this time of year, and one of them, The Wickedest Witch, might possibly be something you guys would like."
The Wickedest Witch.
I don't know.
Sounds familiar.
He says, "I don't know if you've seen it before, but it's from 1989, and it's mainly Rue McClanahan, a bunch of puppets, an 11 to 12-year-old kid. I know all the show Halloween specials have been picked, but I figured I'd let in case you ever want to throw it on the background. If you do decide to watch it, if you do decide to watch it, the version on YouTube uploaded by Jared's VHS Treasures has a couple commercial breaks with some nostalgic 80s commercials.
I love that.
Nice.
Jimmy B, that's brilliant. I will do exactly what you say.
I recall that title is super familiar, and the Rue McClanahan connection kind of jibes, but I can't exactly picture it. But I know that I feel like this is rumbling around in the back of my memories.
I think maybe we can do it next year.
Yeah, for sure.
There you go. Yeah,
there's only so many good Halloween specials
that's
out
true.
there. And then we have an email from Chris Gudos in Toledo, Ohio, or Gudos. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing. Chris. Am I saying that right? Long time listener to the podcast. So 2 quick things. The first is that about the Devil and Daniel Mouse. A couple of months ago, I bought a Bauhaus 12-inch single, their cover of Ziggy Stardust, and came across their song Party in the First Part, and looked up the sampled dialogue in it, and that is where I first heard of the special. Then you guys talked about it, so I just watched it for the first time, and it was super cool, so thanks. The second thing is the Midnight Hour. I remember seeing on television back in the 80s, and I recall when I saw it, the following program was Return of the Living Dead Part 2. For years, the two movies kind of ran together in my head. So when you guys said you almost watched Return 2, I thought it was a funny coincidence. Yeah. I agree. They got a lot in common.
They do.
And rewatching the Midnight Hour all these years later is actually amazing. Thank you for bringing this movie up. Keep up the great show, and hopefully we're looking forward to a Trump-free 2020. I agree, Chris.
Other than casting our votes, bringing the Midnight Hour back into the world, like into people's lives, is probably the best thing we've done as people this year.
Yeah,
I agree.
We deserve a lot of kudos for that.
Where
all the kudos bars?
My kudos.
Do you guys remember?
We still make those.
That's exactly what I was just about to ask.
Oh, because I used to love them because
kudos bar.
we convinced our mom that they were healthy because they were granola bars, but they were basically candy bars.
Just candy bars. You get I think that was the whole point of them was to trick your parents. You get your kudos bar, you get your symphony bar.
It's kind of like
Symphony was so fancy to me.
Oh, they were.
I felt like a Rockefeller.
They were so creamy.
It was the candy of rich 80s people.
Yeah.
They
Same thing when I got
music while they ate it.
I would also make my mom buy us Viennetta.
Oh, yes.
Viennetta was good.
Yeah,
shit.
it was.
Wait, what's Viennetta?
It is a ice cream log.
Ice cream cake almost.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember
it was
that.
fancy.
Now. It is
I almost
fancy.
never got Viennetta. My parents never bought Viennetta.
Yeah.
I only received that at other richer friends' houses.
That's probably where I ate
I
it.
found I think a meme. I either made a meme or found a meme. I can't remember which. It was V is for Viennetta, and it was the guy in the mask eating the ice cream. I don't remember which because sometimes things happen. They just come out of my body.
That's pretty funny though.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought so.
Do you have
I've made memes and I felt like they weren't well enough enjoyed.
I have a voicemail.
They weren't well enough enjoyed.
Okay, I was flying too close to the sun.
What?
Oh, sorry. Start over.
Okay, I was flying too close to the sun. And failed. Basically, so like having to examine the cat to figure out. I mean, early on, because now I can't tell them apart by looking at them. It felt like, but anyway, having to examine them to figure out which one was which felt like I was burning blood like in the thing. So, but anyway, yeah. So I love, I love Halloween so much. I got Halloween cats. So, and it's honestly having them, all three of them around, kind of like, is lifting up my spirits, because I know Halloween's not going to be what it's been in previous years. So anyway, I just hope you and your dogs and all your pets, are doing well. I know at least Kelley has a cat. So, and also this April, 29th of October will be the 10-year anniversary of my Gotcha Day with Ace. So just wanted to share that so we can all celebrate that. So anyway, keep up the great work with the show. I'm already counting the days until the next year with the Halloween specials. Okay, bye.
So that was Dustin. At the beginning of his message was kind of garbled, so I apologize.
Thanks, buddy.
That.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, Ace
good
Ace is a sweet dog.
He's a very good dog.
We have a kitty cat named Ace. We actually have 5.
Five cats named Ace?
5 cats named Ace.
He has
one of
cat.
5 is named Ace.
You can only have 4 cats named Ace, otherwise you're playing with a stack deck.
It's many cats, so it would necessitate an entire rack.
A cat rack.
We have Ace, Dracula, Penny, Phoebe, and Ducky.
My mom had cat racks. She had them removed. Mm-hmm. She could see a lot better after.
That's good.
I don't know what is up with him today.
That's a cute joke. I like that one.
I did too.
Thank you.
So charming.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot better than the other jokes he was making. That just putting his foot in his mouth.
Yeah, sorry about that. I love this picture that Alise shared to our page. Night of the Living, Laughing, Loving Dead.
Aww.
Oh,
it's pretty adorable.
That's great.
That's for it's gentle.
When will I see those in Target to buy like a wall art that says that? You know what I'm saying? Now, right now.
Her "I'm a Trump Girl" post was also pretty good. Yeah. We have a lot of fun stuff on the page. So if you like the show, our community is really great. Every Thursday night we meet up on Zoom with our patrons who make this possible, and that's so much fun. Patreon.com/NOTLP. We missed the meetup on Thursday. Apologize for that, but an overwhelming week.
Yeah, just a lot.
Just was not.
Sometimes you need a break.
Happening. Yep.
We do have the best podcast listeners.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
I've been involved in a couple of different podcast communities. We have the best. You guys are the best of all the listeners.
Kelley can make that statement and mean it either way, with or without the comma. after podcasts. So he could be saying, we have the best podcast listeners, or we have the best podcast listeners.
I was saying it both.
I believe in only the latter because I can't handle the first one because of my self-esteem. But I will tell you, I love.
Oh well, I'm letting you know.
I love our listeners. Our listeners are totes amazeballs.
I think we lost Andy. Oh no, he's here.
Oh, there he goes.
He's just hidden.
There he goes.
You're not pulling a tubing on us, are you?
He's just hidden.
Are you tubing over there?
Do you want to go tubing?
Are you watching Tubi?
While you're tubing?
With your tube out?
I do have pants on this time, so nothing to worry about.
You're allowed to not have pants on as long as, one, I can't see that you don't have pants on, and two, you're not touching yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you'll never know.
Who wants to do the Beelzebub roll call?
I'll do it.
Okay, good.
Kelly.
But I'm not going to, I don't have anything awesome. So I'm
just doing it is awesome.
Yeah.
Ernie, thank you. Thank you for your patronage. I miss you, sir.
Yeah.
Alise, my wife.
Your wife.
I love you. I'll see you in a few minutes here, and we'll get together and do something fun. Amanda, girl, how you doing?
Girl.
Hope everything is going well. Seems to be the last time I saw you. Cassie, Jeremy, my pals across the border in Hindi. Miss you guys. Hope we game soon.
The Forbidden Zone.
Mark Watts.
What's up?
Mark, I don't think we've ever met personally. That's a shame. If we have, I'm sorry that I don't remember it.
Yeah, he was at Horror Hound.
But I don't think we have. Has he been in Horror Hound?
In Indy.
There's been some Horror Hounds where we were like Kelley was doing something and we were doing something else, and it may have been that you guys have never.
Although maybe I have met you.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've been to Horror Hound actually. So if I have, I'm really happy that I did.
It's been a long time for all of us.
I'm really sorry that I haven't.
He's on the Zoom calls frequently.
Oh yeah. Blake. Hi.
Hi, Blake.
Thank you for being our friend. All the roads that you travel, both up and down. Confidants, things of that nature. I'm appreciative of your patronage and your listenership. Bill Farner. You know what I like about you, Bill? Your name isn't Farmer. It's Farner, and it's but I feel like people probably say to you, Farmer? And you're like, no.
He is Farner.
Dun, 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 dun. We've seen it.
Whenever you're at something official and you have to say your name and people mishear you, I bet all the time.
Little person runs out into traffic and you have to drive your car into a bale of hay. We've seen it. Farmers.
That's I wish I keep trying to I keep hoping and never mind.
I wouldn't.
Tree and Alex, how y'all doing? Talked to Tree a little bit this week. It was good chit-chatting with you, my friend.
Aww.
They got a new kitty cat.
Kitty cat.
Little orange, little pumpkin seed, little baby. I think they named it Garfield. Unless they change that. Iona Goodwin. Hello.
Great
in Australia.
You live in Australia.
How are things there?
You think she was like, oh, I do live in Australia.
I do think she was like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like always a surprise for people.
You're an Australianary.
It's a surprise for anyone. Whenever someone's like, Kelley, how's Cincinnati? I'm like, whoa, that's right. It's okay. Jeff L.
Jeffel.
Sir, I'm glad that you're part of this, and I'm excited for the years of enjoyment between us both to come. You enjoy us, we enjoy you. It's just mutual pleasure. Branan and Emily, you little cute little loves. How are you doing? I hope well.
They're moving.
Well, where to?
Just further up in New York.
Down the street. Yonkers.
Oh, Yonkers.
I think it's Yonkers.
Right?
Right?
It's from. Are you really moving to Yonkers? Hello, Dollytown. All right, that's fun. We should talk about that. Adam Ingram. It's good to talk to you today. I'm happy to see your name. I'm happy to read it out loud. Bill Chandler. You crack me up, sir, in the Zoom meetings and the times that I'm in there.
He's the hero of our hangouts.
Heroic.
I agree.
I do. I mean that with all genuineness. Monica, my friend, how are you? Hope well. Enjoying some brews and things.
We ate all your candy.
You are in that Pacific Northwest.
There's still a Nerds rope left and some toxic waste candy. We lost Andy. He'll probably be back before the end, I'm sure.
If anybody's confused, Monica sent us some candy and brews.
Some candy.
Blayne, I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. Turner.
Oh, shit, Blayne.
Excited.
Pussy Willow.
To see you. I like your email address. I won't share it, but I like the simplicity of it. Kevin Korpi, I'm going to tell you a funny thing, and I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but I'm living my truth. In the morning sometimes when I get up and I think that I want my coffee, sometimes I think words in funny pronunciations, and sometimes I think I want my Korpi, and then I'm like, I want my Kevin Korpi.
Aw.
That's sweet.
That's cute.
And that's just what I think. I'm sorry if that's weird.
But we're
that's
thinking
the way,
about you.
When I get my
in the morning.
Works.
I get my chest waxed, I scream out his name.
Vegas.
That's Brian.
I know.
Oh, okay.
But it's fun to say Vegas.
It is. Vagus.
Vegas.
I think it's Vegas. But Brian, if it's Vagus, let me know. I'd hate to mispronounce
I think
your
it's
username.
Vegas. You can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
Because that's true. I mean, no matter what it's intended, it is Vegas.
Or Vagus.
Alyssa, last but never least, certainly not in my heart. It's been so excellent seeing you in these things and throwing words back and forth.
Hurling them at each other.
Alyssa, our saga of sharing meal prep is continuing. She made individual tortilla bakes for her family.
God damn, that sounds good.
Sounds delicious.
And it was really smart. They're like the little Pyrex containers, which we have. She put like flour tortilla in there, all the filling, and then I guess broiled it or something or baked it.
Interesting.
And I'm
that
like,
sounds good.
Yeah, it does. It looked like little Mexican pizzas.
I love it. Well, we made it.
We did it.
We made it through another
not
adventure.
And we lost Andy. His phone died. So
Well,
that's what happened.
He made it through a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
He made it through probably,
enough
the salient points.
Yeah.
So once again, we thank you guys, especially Beelzebubs, all you patrons, and all of the listeners who join us every week. Thanks for caring what we have to ramble about, and we're excited to see you next week. We'll announce the theme.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
When we
decide
when we feel like it, or when we decide what it is.
Probably should have a meeting, huh?
Yeah.
And we'll premiere that artwork.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy Halloween, my little babies.
Happy Halloween.
Do your
And
best to enjoy it.
Let's hope for a good vote.
Good vote.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn of the Dead, and Igor made the nachos in a severed human head, and they enjoy the movie with their friends. David Kessler walks the streets of London